Hey, it's Lily back again. I decided to make a new topic video that I'd like to share and maybe answer a really popular question that I tend to get from a lot of people in my personal life, and it's the reason why I live very simply, or why I live a simple life. And I think I would like to talk a little bit more about what simplicity means to me and how simple can mean different from a lot of people from perspective of how people were raised or their idea of life, what simply means. I think I would really like to step back a little bit how I was raised, and it kind of gives you a good context of what simple life means to me. I was born and raised in a very rural area. In fact, I'm still in a very rural area where the closest grocery store from me is probably about 40 minutes to an hour away. I actually used to go to a very small school. Was it's like less than 100 people graduating in my class. I grew up in a very small location where a lot of luxury things were kind of out of hand and out of reach. The most that I've gotten out of glamour and Hollywood and all these things were kind of on what I watched on TV or movies, maybe now social media, right? But I always lived in a small space where there wasn't really very much people around, items, things, stores, and even people. At times, since I grew up in a very rural area, the only few people I would see was my family, my intimate family that I live with, and if people ever came to visit us. And we did have some few neighbors sometimes, right? But they also were very quiet. And we lived in a small community of very few people. Now I still live in a very rural area, and I think I'll make another video why I still live in a rural area, even though a lot of it might not be so glamorous for people. But the reason why mostly I live a simple life is just at the moment where currently everybody on TV, on social media, movies really glamorize living a big life, like big homes, big cars, I don't know, a lot of shoes and clothes. And I don't kid you wrong, it's all really great. I think it's wonderful if that's a lifestyle people want to go for, but I think there's much more in life. One reason why I decided to live a very simple life is because with a very simple life means that you have a lot less stress in your life. That means that there is less clutter and less thoughts of things that would actually intrude to the way you should live. Simplicity really breaks down kind of all the distractions and away from your priorities where you're currently at. So I would like to tell people, if you're currently struggling with having your priorities straight or not knowing your goals, simplifying your life will really help understand what things to look for. And how I did that kind of is, one, not be associated by things like people that would kind of drain your energy, right? That includes simplicity. It means living a very frugal and enjoyable life where you don't have luxurious things that we're chasing after. And I think that's kind of a very important thing, especially we live in a society where we glamorize big homes, big cars, big anything reality, money, a lot of money. And I think those are all wonderful things if you wish to get and you wish to want. But there is something much more outstanding and much more priceless than things and money, and that is peace and solitude. A lot of people generally, after they reach a certain amount of wealth, will actually seek for peace, seek for isolation. In fact, many of them will find ways to be alone. And even with themselves, a lot of people don't know what it's like to be by themselves and find enjoyment with themselves. So when it comes to finding peace and solitude in a simple life, it becomes very easy that you find much enjoyment in little things in life. Another reason why a simple life will make you a lot more joyful is because you end up finding out a lot of things aren't really necessary, from having big cars to owning big homes and additional clothes and shoes and things. Like, I think that's all great to have, but you'll never find much of enjoyment of them if you don't know how to appreciate the simple things in life. If you find out that you end up have an abundance of a lot of things always given to you, you never find out that you never really kind of find out truly what's it like to just have very, very much joy in just little things. I don't know how to explain it to you, but if I do believe there is some level of scarcity that people should live by, and or frugality more than anything. I think when people say scarcity, people kind of think of it's bad, but truth to be honest, things that are more scarce are actually a lot more valuable, and because we don't have very much around, we don't have many things like that. For example, people don't know how much scarcity has affected their life. It could have positively helped them live a very lot more better life. For example, scarcity could mean your time. There is very little time in the world, and we don't have a lot time. In fact, we don't even have sometimes 24 hours a day, because we need sleep, we need to eat, we need to do things. Most of half of our hours are sleeping. So like, we don't have a lot of time for that, or we are stuck in a job, or we're taking care of some of your kids, or we have to run errands or do bills, stuff like that. We have very little time, and that time is very scarce. So if you tend to believe like time is very scarce, you will treat it a lot better when you have your time. And I think why scarcity be really good when it comes to living a simple life is that you end up finding out the valuable things in your life that can't be replaced. For example, relationships are irreplaceable. Even though you can get many relationships, or you can meet tons of people, all relationships are uniquely different with people. And so if you learn to nurture the relationships you have, even if it's very few of them, how much joy and abundance and radiance you'll get from that. And I learned that very early on. Not growing up the most wealthy in my life, but I have always had really great relationships with people, with friends, with and my neighbors. And people end up having a really great time and enjoyment being with me, because I value the relationships that I had with people. And that is why I think that if you live a very simple life, you also have very good relationships with people, because how simply relationships should be. Like, another reason why I think that simplicity would really help you live a bigger, better life is because if you don't appreciate, again, the things that are given to you, I believe God, if you don't have to be religious or anything, but God, universe, whatever you believe in, if you don't enjoy what you have now, then there's no reason for you to give you more. And that is actually a huge things when it comes to abundance and receiving more things, is that when you truly find the joy in all the things you have, from very little to a ton, you will accumulate a lot more. And I found out that was the secret sauce, secret recipe, whatever, to my life, how things have always gotten better over time. And that in time, I end up finding out that a lot of my blessings and joy came from because I was appreciative to my simple life. And I think you should too. I think that people should really look at the current state that they're in, or even what they have now, and just say thank you for all the great things to the universe, to God, so you would be given much more. And that is kind of a huge thing a lot of people don't do. And that's actually also encourage you to practice gratefulness, you know, saying thank you often. Even sometimes they're not always most, you might not be in the most pleasant space that you want to be in, but in time, the more you radiate gratefulness and blessings and just being enjoyment of life, the more it to come to you. Another reason why I kind of live a simple life is because you end up not just figuring out things that are just, you know, useless, but you end up figuring out where you put your money into. And I think my next video I'll talk about why frugality should be practiced often. But I think living a simple life, you end up just not needing a lot of things. You end up saving tons of money. You don't have to go so often to buy things. You don't have to replace many things. Or even simple life means spending more on certain things and having that last longer, from buying excessive things and not having it last very long. But I found out that if you live a very simple life and you end up also practicing even minimalism very naturally, because you just enjoy the things that you have. And if you have much more of them too, it's much more, you're much more happier too when you get more. But otherwise, if you don't, you're just already happy. So those are other few things that I like to share. I try to think of other new things, but I hope you enjoy this video. I ran out of ideas. These are all coming from my head. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope you keep watching. My next video will be about why we should practice frugality. I don't know how to say frugality. I don't know, frugality, I can't say it now. I don't know why I can't now, but anyways, you'll see the next video or another video like something like that, but I'll see you soon. Bye.